Yo, windows down, it's Friday. Rudy Campos Jr., Derek Gervin, the sports answer. Let's ride. It's the Friday drive home, San Antonio flow. Rudy and Derek live on YouTube. Here we go, streaming online, podcast wherever you roam. NBA, NFL, Spurs, and hot takes. We on the zone. Powered by Salem, surround San Antonio.
Game 7, you ready? I was built for this.
Game 7, Game 7, Game 7, it's go time, go time, it's go time, it's go time. Game 7, Game 7, Game 7, it's go time, go time, it's go time, it's go time.
All right, welcome to the Friday Drive. It's the Sports Answer, the Friday Drive. Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr., live from the Salem Surround Studios in San Antonio, Texas. Shout out Salem Surround, 210-526-3635. You want that, if you don't, if you want that MVP title, if you want that championship, if you want to be the best in the game, you call Salem Surround, 210-526-3635. Proud sponsors here at the Sports Answer and the Friday Drive. Derek, the two biggest words in sports is Game 7. We've got that coming up.
Well, two biggest words in sports, if you live in San Antonio, is go Spurs.
Yeah, normally people will say 3. Go Spurs, go. But we've got Game 7 coming up tomorrow. Spurs ended up beating OKC last night by 27. It's crazy because a lot of these wins by the Spurs are 27. They're double-digit victories. There's just no chance, no opportunity. Quick note, Game 1, probably the best game of the series, was officiated by the same officials from last night's game, Game 6. We've had an epic series so far, tied 3-3. Games 2 through 5 have all been meddled and flopping and refs and all this other stuff. Game 6 was a little more calmer. We saw good calls. We saw some bad calls, but not as many. What are we expecting in Game 7? Before we break down Game 6, what we saw, I'm going to just throw this out to you. What are we expecting from Game 7? Because you have a team in OKC that's been there. You have a team in San Antonio that's never faced a Game 7. Hell, they've never faced a playoff opponent until this year. What's going through these teams' mind heading into a Game 7?
Wow. Well, first I want to say good evening to everybody. Rudy, this is a challenging answer because I don't even know. I'm not a guy who likes to talk about the officials a lot.
Yeah.
And this game really is going to come down to what style of play do the officials allow. I heard Brian Windhorst talking that Scott Foster might be coming in, possibly to ref the Game 7.
Which I wouldn't mind.
And he's not a guy that's afraid to put his foot down.
Exactly.
But to me, that's the key, is how are they going to let these guys play? But regardless, as far as the Spurs, we already know what it takes for them to win. It's got to be set in stone in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama is going to be aggressive. And that just doesn't mean at the three-point line. I mean, he's all over the floor. He's catching the ball under the basket, drawing fouls.
Yeah.
And if he plays like that, I mean, that's been the recipe for the entire series. When Victor plays well, Spurs have won every game. When Victor comes out, I won't say played bad, but not as aggressive, they've lost those 3 games. And then you look at OKC, what's the best thing they're thinking? We're hoping that the inexperience catches up to these guys. We're hoping that the fatigue catches up to Victor.
Yeah.
For playing all these minutes since he played less than 30 minutes during the season.
Yeah.
So they have to come out and hope that Victor is not that animal, that tiger from the beginning, because the rest of the guys seem to feed off of him if you look at it.
Yeah.
When he plays well, they're basically unbeatable.
28 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks last night for Victor Wembanyama. 22 of those points in the first half. And immediately jumped from the get-go. He just took it to OKC. Now, not in a different way. I was actually knocked down 3 threes in that first part of the first quarter. Something that you don't want to really see Victor do so much because we would love to see him attack the paint. But you're right. When he gets going, the rest of the team falls into place and everybody plays well. Now you can go and say, well, there's an error. There's a bad thing that happened. De'Aaron Fox only had 5 points. But what I mentioned last night on the post game show with Jeff at Spurs and Focus was he didn't play bad. He had 5 points. Yeah, he had a bad shooting night. You're a scorer. You're a Gervin. You know you're going to have bad shooting nights from time to time. But he had 0 turnovers. There's other parts of the game that he was very effective. 7 assists, 5 rebounds, but 0 turnovers against a stifling OKC defense that can really play physical. That's a point guard. That's a leader that you need for this team. So technically last night, De'Aaron Fox didn't play bad.
He didn't play bad at all. And he actually didn't play bad in game 5.
No,
he didn't shoot the ball well, but you can tell when he's out there, it's a different team. It's a different mindset. He's the leader. He's the guy that's going to get everyone in their positions to succeed. And when you have his leadership out there on the floor, it's been noticeable.
Yeah.
And I told you recently when I saw him talking in the locker room and all the guys were standing around, Kelly Olynyk and all those guys, and Victor stood up. And then I saw De'Aaron put his hand on him and basically sit down, young man.
Relax.
And when Victor sat down, that showed me a lot, man. I said, damn, so they have 2 really good leaders. They got De'Aaron Fox and, of course, Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
And, Rudy, I got to tell you this, and this is for all the listeners, and I mean this sincerely. This is 2026. I was watching my brother play against the Lakers in the early 80s, 81, 82, 83, 84, to Mike Mitchell, Johnny Moore, and all those guys, right?
Yeah.
This, for me, would probably be the most intriguing series of all these years since my brother played. I haven't been this engaged. I've been engaged in the NBA Finals, but on this has a special meaning for me because of the Spurs. We know who they are.
Yeah.
You see what I'm wearing again. I'm wearing my Spurs. And then on the other side, A.J. Mitchell. I knew his dad very well. His dad passed about 4 months ago. Rest in peace, Barry. And then, of course, I know Keaton Wallace, and him and I have talked during this series. Brother of the big brother of Kason Wallace.
Yeah.
So this series means a lot for me. But at the end of the day, I'm walking around today in silver and black. So I want to see Gold Spurs. I want to see a repeat of the Emirates Cup and the 1999 finals.
Yeah.
David Robinson, the Tim Duncan dominated finals. I want to see New York Knicks and San Antonio Spurs.
The entire city of San Antonio wants to see Knicks and Spurs, the rematch of 99, the rematch of the Emirates Cup. But I before I go into that pool, I have to say we've got to get through game 7. That's like the most important thing. I don't like that Spurs fans want to look forward to Knicks. I mean, let's get one game first and then we can look forward to New York, because if you thought OKC was tough, the Knicks are a whole different breed. Jesus, they're a whole different breed right now. Best team in the league.
I have to tell you this on the OKC Spurs thing, that what I want people to look for.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be big. How are the officials going to allow Stephon Castle to play Shai Gilgeous? Because if I remember correctly, how many free throws did Shai shoot the last game? Like 3?
I want to say it was 3, yeah.
Okay, so we talking about the MVP,
5.
who is 5 free throws. 3,
yeah,
I believe.
3 was 3.
Yeah, 3 free throws. Shai Gilgeous. You're talking about the MVP. And the reason I bring that up, because we got to be honest, right? Referees are human beings.
Yeah.
And when you look at Shai Gilgeous' career, he's been known, a lot of people call him the free throw merchant, but he gets fouled a lot, right?
Yeah.
But some of the fouls you can ignore because he does a lot of flopping. I don't want to see Stephon Castle get in foul trouble early. That switches the whole dynamic of the games to me. I know you can insert Dylan Harper or whoever, Keldon Johnson, but I don't think they guard Shai as well as he does, as Castle.
Yeah.
And Castle makes Shai shoot the fadeaways, right? People say he's been making them all year, and now all of a sudden he's missing. He's in a slump. He's not in a slump. He's been affected defensively by the Spurs. And me being a scorer, I know sometimes people can get you to rushing.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point where even when you're open, And I want you to remember, in I believe it's game 3 or 4. I want everyone to remember this. Shea had a shot from about 7 feet on the left block under the basket. Victor never jumped at all, barely even looked that direction. And what did Shea do? He came up very short.
Yeah.
And that shot right there told me a lot. So if they can keep Castle on the floor and let him play 25 minutes on Shea, this game could get away from OKC by halftime. And I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I can see the Spurs putting the pedal to the metal, coming out aggressively. Victor throwing one of Chet's shots out of bounds. And, hey, Spurs, Victor comes out aggressive. This game could be decided by halftime.
We're going to be breaking down game 7 here in just a little bit. A couple of comments here. We got Mama Reed in here. It says, good evening. Good evening. Also, Jeff Garcia, Spurs in Focus. He brought up something that actually kind of foreshadowed a little bit what we're going to talk about. It says, if the San Antonio Spurs lose, does this tarnish Wembanyama's star? Like some nasty say, he has not proven himself in big games. Now, you talked about legacy, and I don't think them losing to Oklahoma City does any damage to Victor at all. I mean, Jordan had to get through the Pistons, the Pistons had to get through the Lakers, they had to get through the Celtics. All of these greats, these legends of the games, had to face adversity at one point in their career. So Victor losing in the first year of the playoffs to OKC doesn't do anything to legacy, doesn't do anything to his star. He's still going to be the same probably face of the league that everybody wants him to be. But there is a player facing legacy issues that might surprise a lot of people that you mentioned. So why don't we get into that real quick? Because the 3-letter guy, SGA, losing to the San Antonio Spurs, you want to talk about getting kicked off of a pedestal, that could really hurt him.
Well, first I want to say shout out to Jeff Garcia, and I have to tell Jeff, Victor's already been in the fire.
Yeah.
Weren't they down 3-2 to the defending champions going into the game last night?
Yeah.
Who showed up in the first quarter?
That'd be Victor.
22 points in the first half.
Yeah.
So he's already in the fire. It doesn't always have to be in the finals, game 7. You learn early who can handle the fire, guys who can stand the heat. We've seen other guys fold, the James Hardens, for me, even the Anthony Edwards guys. We've seen that repeatedly.
Yeah.
So right now, Victor's on a good trajectory. And so I have to give him credit. Last night was win or go home against a team that hasn't lost twice in a row, right? So if the Spurs win this next game, and OKC, when the last time they lost 2 in a row? It's been quite a while.
The last time they've lost 2 in a row, I couldn't tell you. I mean, it was just recently they just got scaled to 82 points. I mean, this OKC team has been dominant. And as much as I've given them crap, and I've told you a million times, I don't believe in this OKC team. They're just not championship material. They are still a dominant team. They're still beating everybody left and right.
Yeah, well, they've had their hands full in this series, and it's going to be interesting tomorrow because we know how the game is. First of all, it's in OKC.
Yeah.
And guys play better at home, shoot better. I'll say that. Those rims, they know the rims.
Yeah.
But when you got guys like the Spurs running them off the 3-point line, you limit Caruso, you limit you limit McCain, Jared McCain, you limit Kason Wallace. The Spurs are capable of doing that. And then, of course, we know the game's going to come down to this, Rudy. How well is Victor going to set the table, right? And then who's going to be the 2 guys that follow him as he's setting the table? Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper. When those 3 have played well, you can look at the entire season. When you got production from those 3, I bet they haven't lost 10 games. I'm talking about the entire season. When you've gotten high-level production from Harper, Castle, and Wembanyama. That's made them an almost unbeatable team. So that's what it's a lot of things that go on to tomorrow. But I have to get to this legacy because I talked to you before we went on the air.
You got to get to the legacy talk for SGA.
I have to sit up now. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Okay.
We'll get into the legacy talk here in a second. I do want to remind everybody about Salem Surround. We're brought to you by Salem Surrounds. 210-526-3635 is Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr., the sports answer, the Friday drive here in the Salem Surround Studios in San Antonio, Texas. The one thing I will say going into Game 7 is that you're not going to keep OKC shooting 25% from beyond the arc. You're not going to keep them shooting 37% overall from the field. I mean, this is one of the bad shooting games for OKC. It's hard to imagine them having back-to-back bad shooting games. And I'm not even bringing up Shea because that's going to be brought up right now. But the one takeaway you got from Game 6 is, can the Spurs repeat the same defensive-minded presence that they had in Game 6? What I noticed was that they were switching off. I mean, just in a heartbeat, they were making their switches. They were fighting through screens. They weren't allowing the refs to just blow any whistle, basically, because they weren't doing anything wrong. They played aggressively, but they also played smart on the defensive side of the ball. Can they duplicate that in Game 7 in a hostile OKC environment?
I don't even know if they have to duplicate it, because if you look at this game, the way the game works, guys can get in your head without even you having a game that day. You know, that's how you go in slumps. You start trying to overanalyze things. And at some point you run out of answers. The way the Spurs have been playing, right? I said it's going to go back to, of course, how the officials are calling the game.
Yeah.
But if they're letting guys if they're letting Carter Bryant run over, steamroll over Shea Gilgeous with no calls, he did it twice. And so if they're allowing that kind of game, that's the kind of supposedly OKC has been playing all year, right?
Yeah, they have.
So now they're facing basically the same way they've liked to play. The Spurs are playing that way. I've seen Penny push Chet in the back. So it's little things they're doing to fight back.
Yeah.
And I'll say and some of those things have gotten in OKC's head. Chet looked like a totally different player in that shot he took in the paint that Wemby blocked at the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
That from that point on, he wasn't as aggressive. So there are things the Spurs can do, but I got to get on this Shea thing because
Go for it.
Everyone knows that the trajectory has been, if Shea wins back-to-back MVPs for the regular season and the finals, where does he place in history? And I've heard people start talking about him being a top 10 player. I've heard people talk about him winning, going into the top 3 point guards with Magic and Steph Curry, if they were to win 2 in a row. I'm sorry. So this is a legacy thing for Shea. We've seen him shoot over 50%.
Yeah.
He's averaged 30 points in the last 3 or 4 years. He's averaged 30 points.
Absolutely.
Okay. People know that they call him the free throw merchant and all that. So, but you can't take away, you have to respect he's been consistent over the 4 years. So all this talk about him going to the top 3, top 10 all time, if they were to lose this series and he's playing the way he's played, he hasn't had a breakout game in this series. The one game he got 30 points, I believe he shot 17 free throws, like 15 for 17.
15, yeah. 15,
from 17 from the line. So he hasn't had a Shea Gilgeous game in this entire series. So that's what makes me think that the other guys could also be affected. When your leader is not bringing it, you start that kind of gets into your head.
Yeah.
I'm an older guy, so I'm going to bring up this really quick. I wanted to watch Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, okay? Sugar is one of my favorite top fighters of all time.
Yeah.
But even before the fight, Duran had already gotten into his head. They had not even stepped to the ring yet.
Yeah.
And that can happen in basketball. Teams don't go in slumps. They start missing shots for a reason. I hate to see when people say it's a slump. It's not a slump. It's that team on the other side of the ball is getting in your head and they're getting into your body and they're doing it consistently. So if Shea were to lose this series, here's the biggest thing of all. Will Shea ever win another MVP?
Absolutely not.
So this is legacy defining for him. He has a chance to go to the upper echelon, or he has a chance to diminish his career a little bit by not coming up strong in the big games. He hasn't six. It's rare you go through a whole series. Is Michael Jordan not going to have a great game in a 6-game series? Is LeBron James not going to have one great game? So we can go. We can go on and on. Luka, is he going to have 6 bad games, or what you consider the standard from how he's played all year? Shea, this is it. He has to bring it. He has just as much pressure on him as Victor Wembanyama has for the Spurs. Jeff, you got to think about that too, Mr. Garcia.
Yeah,
a lot of pressure on Shea Gilgeous to get this thing done tomorrow, or we're going to be having some more conversations.
That's why you get the best here with Derek Irvin, on the Friday drive. And you talked about how you get into some people's head even before the game. Little known fact, I don't know if you caught it here, but towards the end of the game was over. San Antonio won the game. Mitch decided to pull in the enforcer card and bring in his 3 guys, mainly Plumlee and Biyombo. Did you catch the camera kind of glimpse over Jared McCain, who was still in the game? What does Coach Diagonal do? He subs Vic McCain out. That to me told me I'm a little scared of this because of what happened in game 5. Take me out of the game, and I'm going to pull you out of the game. I don't need him getting hurt. Now, for granted, game 6, they weren't going out there to injure him that game. I mean, they were going out there to play because the game was over. They were done. But that's the intimidation part that you saw. Saw what happened in game 5. You see them checking into the game. You best believe he's checking out of game 6 because he don't want no part of that anymore. I kind of like that. I kind of like that intimidation factor that we saw with Mitch.
Did it remind you of something? Did it remind you of
the
fiasco? No, what about the fiasco? Jokic and Markieff Morris.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure Mark Daigneault thought about that as well. The way he was hit in the back. Yeah, it brought back memories.
Yeah.
So the Spurs have gotten in OKC's head. I would say more so than OKC has gotten in the Spurs' head.
Yeah.
The Spurs, when they've lost the games, have been things that you could correct quickly.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
The games OKC lost some of them have been unexplainable, like OKC. We talking about the OKC Thunder being outscored 20-0 in the third quarter, going on a 20-0 run?
Yeah, it's 15-0 run, 20. I think they were outscored 23-3 or 4.
When does that happen to OKC?
Happened last night.
So I'm just wondering, like, say the first quarter, right? And Victor comes out aggressive, and the Spurs were to go out up 10-2. I'm interested to see how OKC responds. I really am, because at some point you just realize that you've done all you can do, but you just run out of answers. You just run into a better team. And I think, what are people talking about? The inexperience again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we keep hearing that nonsense. So if the Spurs come out and take it to them in the first 2-3 minutes and OKC has to call an early timeout, that's what I want to see. I want to really see then what OKC has been made of these last 2 or 3 years.
Easily, by far, you and I agree on this. San Antonio's been the best team in this series. Even though it's 3-3, I mean, they've been the best. The one game where I consider them being terrible was in that big turnover game. That was it. I mean, they shot themselves in the foot on that. Outside of that, I mean, San Antonio's been the best team in this series. And it shows, because even in their losses, they've fought. They've made runs. Yes, they've had a call go against them here or there that have kind of maybe killed momentum. You want to call it flopping? I want to ask you about that too, because Reggie, your favorite guy, Reggie Miller, brought up something here. I want to ask you, but overall, I mean, San Antonio's been the best team in this series. And again, the one thing you guys got to understand, Derek and I, we're in San Antonio. We understand, hey, you know what? These guys are probably Spurs fans. Yeah. A lot of times our Spurs fandom hat stops at the door. And when the mics go hot, we take that hat off. We call it like it is. Go back and look at everything. Spurs have been the best team in this series. It just so happens that they're 3-3. I mean, that's the thing that I want people to understand, is that they're not playing bad. Just call here or there. Bad turnover again, one game. Overall, this series should have been done easily.
Only thing makes me really nervous. I told you about the Castle, how they're going to call the game.
Yeah.
But I know OKC is going to come out, man. They're going to put it all on the line. This is why you play all season to get the home court advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what scares me. I still think the Spurs should win this game. But man, sometimes it's hard to put a champion away. And I'm just hoping that we could shut down these perimeter guys. The key is if we shut down the perimeter guys, it's a done deal.
It's over.
It's a done deal. We run those guys off the 3-point line, and we're not giving Caruso and Kason Wallace. Well, in Kason's case, we're not giving him the corner threes. And if we're not giving Caruso those threes up top, we'll give him a chance to set and all that. Continue to get in these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Victor not roaming around as much, kind of staying in the area of the person he's supposed to be guarding.
Yeah.
Because I think that's hurt them in the 3 losses. If you look at the film, Victor's, all around the floor. And sometimes that's caused them to have to they give up open kickouts. They run to this guy, he throws it to the next guy.
Yeah.
So they're giving up the good shot for the great shot. And a lot of that is because Victor's been out of position defensively. So I've noticed the last night he was on point. He was where he's supposed to be. And that's how, that's very important for them going into the game tomorrow. But if I'm the coach, Miss Johnson, I'm going to tell you this how quick my speech is. Well, we played all year to get to this point. We've been doubted. We've been talked about, how young we are. Hey, guys, I'm going to walk out of here in just a second. I just want to say that tomorrow, just be who you are. Bring everything you've brought this year. And I guarantee we will be waiting on the New York Knicks to make this trip to San Antonio in a few days. Doesn't have to complicate it. Just be who you've been. Come out, put it all on the line and see who wins. I said if that happens, the Spurs win this game and they win convincingly.
Really, and all Mitch has to say is there's no tomorrow. Famous Rocky statement. There is no tomorrow.
Just play.
You just got to play the game. And I'm kind of excited for Game 7. I'm also kind of not nervous, but I'm the type of guy where I'm like, it's Game 7.
You know who's OKC is more nervous than you are. You know why?
They have
because they had a lot to lose last night. But here's the thing: Game 6, right?
Yeah.
Only chance that OKC had was what? The Spurs coming out with their youth showing, right? That's the only really thing that OKC could bank on.
Yeah.
If we go from roster to roster, who has the deepest roster? That's been proven.
San Antonio.
The Spurs, right?
San Antonio.
So if they just go out and let the chips fall where they may, and my point is they did that in Game 6, didn't they?
Yeah.
I had posted on Facebook, this is how the Spurs win Game 6. Just go out, don't be whining. Forget the referees, go out and play, and let the chips fall where they may. That's what I posted. What did they do? They went out, they let the chips fall where they may. That game was over at halftime.
And that's the thing is everybody from San Antonio players to coaching staff to San Antonio fandom, everybody worries about the officials. And I look and I take a step back and I'm thinking Spurs have shot more free throws than OKC. So, I mean, there's really no free throw discrepancy when it comes to OKC getting more free throws. I get it. You get certain fouls called that are not supposed to be called. I mean, they're ghost fouls and everything, but there's no reason why San Antonio should come out flat tomorrow. They've already proven that they can win a good win or go home game, obviously last night, but it all starts with 1 7'4" guy. He's got to play aggressive. He's got to come in mean. Now, his demeanor last night was scary, but was scary good. And I want to personally thank Derek, because you and I are part of the media. I want to personally thank the media for pissing off a 7'4" giant. Because one guy doesn't decide to give you 5 minutes of his time. And even local media had a problem with Victor not talking to local media as well. There's just some games where you're a little upset and you want to take the fine, even though he wasn't fined. You want to take the fine because you don't want to say anything. You don't have nothing to say. What did Mom always say? You got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. You probably didn't have anything nice to say after that game. So what do? They bash him nationally. They say, you know, this is horrible. This is a bad look for him. All he had to do was talk to us after the game. No, he just left. He didn't want to talk to anybody. Well, then he walks in, didn't say a word. He was very short even after the game with the media. His comments were, I mean, extremely pop-like.
Pop 2.0.
And that's what I want to see for Game 7. Walk into OKC. Don't worry about talking to anybody. Get the job done. Walk in upset. How do you think that was about his demeanor last night? Do you think that played a big part in him coming into that game? Because previous games, Derek, he's been loose. He's been having a little bit of fun. Shout out to Keith Edmondson for getting on my case when at St. Gregory's when he was our coach. I walked in, I checked into a game. A buddy of mine told me of something funny. I laughed. Keith's first words and only words to me that game were, "What are you laughing about? Wipe that smile off your face." I'm like, the ball hadn't even been brought in, coach. I mean, he told me something funny.
You got the Joey Crawford treatment.
I got it.
Tim Duncan.
I got it from Coach Keith Edmondson. But that's the demeanor he walked in last night previous to other games. It was businesslike. And that's the kind of demeanor I want him to come in with Game 7.
Yeah, he looked like he came ready for business. All the laughing and joking is over.
Yeah.
We back to the legacies again. We get ready to find out now. Does the OKC legacy continue? We start talking dynasty, like they talked about the Golden States, the Miami Heats, or do we start talking about the San Antonio Spurs? So this game has a lot of implications. It's a lot bigger than just Shea. We're talking about the future of the OKC Thunder, team that's got all these draft picks. But then you got a team over here in San Antonio that's really running them down. Yeah. And if you look at it, we go back and really talk about it. You look at how OKC behaves now, right? They're kind of like Golden State, right? Where did they steal this behavior from? The organization, San Antonio Spurs. We set the blueprint.
Sam Presti.
Yeah, so we've done it first, right?
Yeah.
So we get ready to go out there tomorrow. Put it on the line. Get started right from the beginning. There are no more tomorrows. Come out and play. And I believe if the Spurs come out tomorrow with that mindset, they will be on their way to the Western Conference Finals. I love
NBA Finals. If they win them.
Well, we had NBA Finals. I'm
NBA
sorry.
Finals.
I'm so yeah. Well, we'll take
We're
the
hyped.
NBA.
We're hyped.
Man, look, when's the last time? So we got 99, 2003, 2005, 2007, 2014, right?
Yeah.
It's time to add one more. If the Spurs win the championship this year, who does that tie us with? The Chicago Bulls.
That would be the Bulls.
So
I mean, you still got to credit the Bulls. They had back to back.
I'm not going to look ahead, but I'm just saying it gives us something to be excited about. It gives the people in San Antonio something to be really excited about. And matter of fact, shout out to the people over there on Southeast Military. They didn't tear up the city. They behaved a little better last night.
Just a little bit. I said
a little. Hey, any progress is progress, right? We'll take it. Yeah. So let's go out and win this next game. Everybody, please behave. Please be safe, because I know even if we were to win Game 7 on the road, I know there'll be a lot of partying here in San Antonio. So just be safe. And tomorrow, bring good karma before we go into this game tomorrow. We need all the good karma we can get. So let's go ahead and root these guys on. Let's root them on the right way, and let's go Spurs.
Game 7 tomorrow, 7 p.m. It's going to be in OKC. It's your Spurs. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder. One game, one goal. Survive. That's all it is. You got to survive this game. It's win or go home. Side note, the sisters aren't going to be able to make the OKC game tomorrow. They're going to be in San Antonio. I did get that alert. Now, unless something changes by then, there's no nuns, there's no sisters that are going to be in OKC.
They won't be there in body, but they'll be there in spirit. So yeah, they still represent.
So everybody that's part of Mexican heritage, obviously, you know, from my family as well, get out your candles. I'm sure HEB's got a stockpile of the candles that you can go light up and start lighting left and right, man. Start doing the rosary, the prayers, everything for Game 7 to get your San Antonio Spurs a victory tomorrow against the OKC Thunder. We got a whole lot more coming up here. We've got more Spurs talk. We got Spurs Cheeseman, which it involves a certain coach that's leaving. That is really no surprise. I had a couple of fans like, "Oh my God, he's leaving it after." No, this guy was looked at for Phoenix before they hired their coaches. I mean, he's been looked at everywhere. Plus, a while back, you made a comment about Dylan Harper and Victor and where their legacy can go as long as they play together. Can it get as high as Magic and Kareem, or can it be as mid, which is very legendary, as a Mark Price or Brad Daugherty? How high can they go on that duo ladder? That's going to be a part of the Spurs Cheeseman segment. Also, tanking, Derek. NBA decided to make some rule changes.
Oh,
We're going to get into that. And I kind of like them, but I kind of don't understand them. I need to get your take on that. Plus, we got more with Derek Irvin. We got some questions for Derek as well. One of them has to do with the coach that's about to leave. How does it affect players in the locker room, especially during big moments? A whole lot more to get into. It's Derek Irvin. It's Rudy Campos Jr. We'll be back with Spurs Cheeseman. We'll be back with some tanking. And any questions you guys got, drop them in the comments here in the Salem Surround Studios in San Antonio, Texas. We'll be back.
Looking for the inside track on the Silver and Black? From deep dive analysis to breaking news on Wemby and the squad, get it all at Spurs in Focus. Join veteran beat writer Jeff Garcia for the ultimate one-stop spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. Subscribe now at spursinfocus.substack.com.
Billboards, gas stations, gyms, grocery stores, and more.
Salem Media puts your brand in front of San Antonio wherever life takes them.
Call 210-526-3626. Call 210-526-3626 and get noticed.
You know your business inside and out, but does your community? With Salem Media's podcast and video production services, you can share your expertise and connect with customers on their commute or wherever they listen. We handle production and distribution, so your content reaches the right ears on multiple podcast platforms. Stop letting competitors own the conversation. Call Salem Media today and ask about our local business podcast packages. Call Chris at 210-526-3631. 210-526-3631.
From outer space to San Antonio. Splash! Go Spurs go! And that is nothing but net.
Game 7. You ready? I was built for this.
Game 7, game 7, game 7. It's go time. Go time. It's go time. It's go time. Game 7, game 7, game 7. It's go time. Go time. It's go time. It's go time.
All right, welcome back to the Friday Drive. Rudy Campos Jr., Derek Gervin, the Sports Answer. Be sure to go to Salem Surround 210-526-3635. If you want to be a champion today, they are going to be the ones to get you there. They do a lot of great work for you and your business. 210-526-3635. Proud sponsors over here at this Friday Drive and the Sports Answer from the Salem Surround Studios in San Antonio, Texas. We're going to stop the Cheeseman for a second. We're going to get into tanking, man, because the NBA, the lottery has changed a lot. Now, I've been reading on it, and it's called the 3-2-1 anti-tanking system is what it's called. This is the basic rules. Lottery increases from 14 to 16 teams. Obviously you can kind of work around that. The 10 teams that miss playoffs get included. Obviously, this is where it kind of gets a little crazy. The relegation zone, Derek. So this is where I like it, but I don't like it in a way. It says the 3 teams with the worst regular season records are penalized. They each only get 2 lottery balls for the number 1 pick compared to 3 lottery balls if you're the 4th through the 10th team. So
sorry.
No, and I laugh because I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Well, it means the worst teams now have the worst odds to win the lottery. Now that to me, that was first like
Kind of backwards, huh?
Yeah, so you can be the absolute worst team in the league, and you're going to be penalized for being the worst team in the league.
That's crazy.
Now, it gets a little bit better now because now no team can win the number 1 pick in back-to-back years. No team can pick in the top 5 for 3 consecutive years. The worst record teams also cannot fall below 12th overall. Which one do you want to? Which balloon do you want to poke first?
Wait.
They just
Hold
dropped
on,
everything.
sir. Wait. We're gonna go to this. Back up for a second. Okay. Go back to what you said about the two. You can't get 2 players in a row.
Okay, so you cannot win the number 1 pick back-to-back years.
Okay.
You can't be Orlando.
Okay, or close to the Spurs.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of these rules, man, sound like stuff that was put in for the Spurs.
Somewhat, I think so.
Wait, come on, because how many teams, if you really, and the reason I'm saying that, how many teams in history have gotten David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Victor Wembanyama?
I'm thinking. There's got to be another team.
So,
right? No, it's San Antonio.
The only team would be the Lakers. You got Shaq, you got Kareem, you got George Mikan, right, and Wilt.
Yeah.
That's it. So,
but I mean, Shaq was in Orlando. Kareem was Milwaukee. Wilt's Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only other thing you could think of, Orlando got Shaq and Penny. Well, Chris Webber. Then they traded him for Penny the following year. I mean, yeah, it kind of maybe does feel a little bit like that.
Spurs and OKC.
Yeah. The rich got richer.
Yeah. So.
They don't like that. Now, what do you think about the no team? Because there's more to it, but the no team picking in the top 5 for 3 consecutive years. I don't mind that at all.
I don't mind that either. I want it to be fair, okay? It used to be, we know what this is about. I don't like people questioning if there's gambling, how much the gambling is affecting the NBA. We even go back to the Patrick Ewing days.
The cold envelope.
Yeah, I want it to be fair, man, and I don't want there to be any questions.
Yeah.
And the only problem I've ever had with the NBA is I've always wanted parity, and it seems like they don't want that. You want I understand we have the marquee teams, right? But I wanted to see the other teams, as they say, come up as well. And so I was glad to see like Toronto win championship, teams like that.
Yeah.
And so I just want to see it be fair, man. But even this year, there were questions, right? Because we already knew going into the draft, before they even, what did we talk about? The Bonsa and Darren Peterson situation.
Bonsa,
So this is before the draft even happened. There are already questions what's going to happen because we know, and I talked to you when the young man was in high school, his senior year. I talked to you about A.J. DeBansa.
He'll be a Jazz.
Okay, and I told you when he come out, I said I could only see him being the number 1 pick. At that time, that's all they were talking about. And so this year, I'm still saying, and you said it as well, is he going to end up being with the Utah Jazz? Are they going to trade down up so that they can acquire DeBansa with the first pick?
Yeah, they are. And they don't, I mean, they really don't have to. I don't think Washington takes him at 1. I think they're really in love with Darren Peterson. So, but hey, if you're Washington, I mean, take the freebie. You're going to probably get a player like Ace Bailey to go to Washington where he wanted to be last year.
Anyway, yes.
He wanted to be there anyway. So it kind of works out for them. I mean, yeah, it's not like the Patrick Ewing cold envelope thing that always would run out everybody, Spurs, the lucky rabbit's foot to get, Tim Duncan when Boston had the best opportunity. Could you imagine Tim Duncan in Boston? I mean, that's what the NBA would have loved.
I could imagine him in Orlando, but even that made me sick thinking about it.
Oh, God. I mean, Spurs fans, again, I will say that loyalty is everything. And just be glad that Pop allowed family to fly on a plane because Tim Duncan would have been a Magic. He was already an Orlando Magic had it not been for Doc Rivers saying, no families allowed on the team plane. Sorry, Doc. It's over. You can get him after that. But the other thing that I wanted to ask you too was the worst record. The top 3 teams with the worst record get the least amount of opportunities to get the number 1 pick. So you can be the 10th worst team in the league and you're going to have better odds than 1, 2, and 3 to get the number 1 overall pick.
I'm going to ask why. See that name right there?
I really wish we could show it, but I don't really want to on there. But yeah,
you see the name.
I see the name. So Derek, can I at least say it on there?
Yeah, you can say it.
So we're going to try to get to the bottom of this for everybody listening. Derek has texted Adam Silver, commissioner of the league, live on this show. He's texted Adam Silver. He wants to get answers to this, but The number 10 team, say by chance, Derek, the Spurs, OKC, the New York Knicks have an off year. Injuries. It happens all the time. They are the number 9th team in the league. They're the 9th worst team in the league. They get a better opportunity than a Wizards team, a Jazz team to win the NBA lottery. You know how bad that would look on the league if the Spurs land in the top 3 because they had better odds than those teams?
Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No.
And I write Adam about a lot of stuff. I just try not to get on his nerves, so I don't want to overdo it. But at some point, man, I want it to be fair. I want to see these teams or these smaller markets start getting a little more. Not bad. Even like last year when we watched the Indiana Pacers in the finals, it wasn't a bad series.
No.
And unfortunately, Tyrese Halliburton got injured, but these small market teams mean a lot to me. And me, of course, playing for New Jersey Nets.
Yeah.
So I've always been about the small market teams. I just want to see what they can do to make it fair, because I don't want to see, OKCs and Spurs, Boston Celtics, the teams like that that's already basically set for the next 5 to 10 years. I don't want to see those teams keep getting the best players. I want to see these younger teams, these lower market teams, start getting the opportunity to kind of, make their own legacies.
So this is a crazy one here. I love what we're saying with the tanking part, because to me, like I said, I like it, but I don't like it. It makes really no sense on a lot of terms. But the expanded anti-tanking enforcement. I want to read exactly what it says. Commissioner Adam Silver now has the authority to fine teams up to $10 million, forfeit draft picks, or change draft positions odds for tanking. So if you are intentionally tanking, you can get fined. You can have your draft picks forfeited. You can even be rearranged. Oh, you got the 2nd pick? I'm giving you the 5th now because you intentionally tanked. Now, just like the flopping rule, Derek, because it's in the rule book, but they don't use it. There's even a rule on flopping that says we can go back and watch the game. And if we see you flop, we can call a flop on you. We can have that tech. We can have that. So it can go towards you. Now you've got players that are or guys are going to watch the games and say, you're tanking, aren't you? But it goes back to what I said. Tyrese Halliburton. Injuries play a part. Indiana's not a bad team. But if they are bitten by the injury bug, they're going to be crap. So why would you consider that tanking if their injury is playing a part? Where's the line?
That's open up Pandora's box. You don't know.
We love opening Pandora's box.
That is too hard to figure out who's tanking. And here's the bad part about that, right? We've got enough stoppages in the games already.
Yeah.
What are we heading towards? Major League Baseball?
Oh my
We're
God.
on the field for 3 hours. I mean, come on now. Enough is enough. I figure out, you guys and you ladies in these higher offices, y'all know how to make this game where it's fair for everyone. We shouldn't even be having these conversations, tanking and guys sitting out. And but how can you really tell? Just like you said about Tyrese Halliburton. That's a fine line. How can you tell someone they're tanking? Next thing after that, you're going to have lawsuits, man, because you're messing up somebody's legacy. Because if I'm not tanking and you're putting that out there over in the national audience that I'm tanking or I'm flopping and I'm not. And speaking of flopping really quick, have you heard what Shea supposedly did with the cease and desist letter?
That's what I was going to get into that too.
Okay.
Because you mentioned about
I'm just saying, man. So all this kind of stuff
we still got Shea.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we have to be careful. We don't want to overdo it. The NBA's got a lot to figure out, and I hope they do it quickly.
Again, the anti-tanking rules, I get them, but I don't get them. I understand them, but I don't understand them.
Tanking. Man, this guy's been hurt for 3 weeks. Just because we didn't come out publicly and report it every day, that doesn't mean we're tanking. I mean, you really got guys that are hurt.
There's teams that are bad, that are legitimately bad in the league. And you can't say, well, they're tanking because they've got so-and-so coming up in the draft, so they want to get him. Not necessarily. I mean, there are bad teams in the league, Derek. There really are bad teams in the league.
We're going to talk about hypocrisy, okay?
Okay.
how can the NBA get offended by any team tanking when the NBA is the one that keeps promoting the top high level, the high market teams?
Yeah.
You're the ones everything's about the Miami Heat, the Golden State Warriors, the Boston Celtics, the Knicks, Lakers, right?
Yeah.
So if you're promoting that, where does that leave everyone else? So it's kind of hypocritical for me.
You got equal promotion.
You're the one that caused this in the first place. So you're going to get mad because we're tanking, even though you didn't give us a good product to put on the floor in the first place? Kind of like they did, remember the Lakers with Chris Paul?
They tried to trade for
okay, that'll never be David Stern, right? So you're basically, what did they do to the Lakers? They set the Lakers back a few years, right?
Yeah.
So, and the Lakers are a high market team. So if you're doing that with low level teams, I mean, I'm just trying to understand the hypocrisy. You want mad at guys for tanking? You gave us, we got a 20 team roster going into the season, 20 wins.
Yeah.
What do you expect us to do? Of course, we're going to try to get the best draft pick that we can the following year. That's common sense.
I think the best way to fix it, just if you're 16 teams and you're out of the playoffs, everybody gets one lottery ball. That's it. Just one chance, one ball. Whatever logo comes up, that's number one.
That's fair.
Whatever logo comes up next, that's number two. The whole odds and, well, you've got to get the number scheme of 5, 9, 2, 6, 3, 4. It's a lottery, I get it, but it's not an actual lottery. Like you don't need to get this certain Morse code of numbers to get the number one pick. It should just be, you know what? We can do it on that. They love to do things on national TV. All you do is go get a bingo crystal ball thing, put it in the middle, put one ball for each team, and just do it live.
That's it.
Let it come up. Oh, hey, Spurs, number one. Y'all were bad, but we understand you had injuries. You're number one. This is it right here. I mean, there's so many ways to fix this. It's unbelievable. And you're right. They don't promote certain teams. I've never seen a national, broadcast where we're talking NBC and CBS, all these ESPN saying live from Utah, we've got the New Orleans Pelicans against the Utah Jazz in a massive battle tonight. I've never seen that. So you're right. If you're not going to promote the rest of the teams, why do you care who gets what player in an NBA draft at all? I'd love to see that though. One day, just out of the blue, we got Pelicans and Jazz and the national game of the week and everything like that. That would be awesome.
Who do we advertise for the Pelicans at this point? Is it Trey Murphy the third or is it Zion?
I mean, you know what? Zion did lose some weight because, that game could have been sponsored by Golden Corral if it was old school Zion, but you probably would do Trey Murphy. I think Trey Murphy versus Lauri Markkanen. Even though, man, on paper, Utah looks pretty good. I mean, they do have a team. They got a good coaching staff. So they do actually look pretty good. That is anti-tanking talk right there. Got some comments in here. There's a couple of comments that did come in. Obviously, Jeff is leaving them in there. One of them is the Spurs beat OKC. Is it a certified bona fide concrete rivalry if they beat OKC? I think it's kind of a rivalry already if we're thinking about it.
Right now, I would call it a rivalry, but rivalries change quickly. Cleveland and Golden State was a rivalry.
Yeah.
Then that went away. A lot is going to be told by how this series finishes out, because if OKC were to lose and lose convincingly, they're back to the drawing board, aren't they? Even as great as they were this year, because they were a 65 win team, right?
Yeah.
If they lose 64 and 18, if they lose this year, that sets them back a long way, because we don't know. We can only project, right?
Yeah.
But if we project, if I project, and I'm looking at healthy Victor, I'm looking at Victor after this summer, or coming back a year later, right? Getting ready for camp.
Yeah.
He's put on 10 to 15 more pounds. He's gotten more knowledge. He continues to learn like a sponge from the Tim Duncans, the David Robinsons, the Greg Popovich's the guys like that. And we come back next year, the Spurs are only going to be better, Carter Bryant's going to have another year of experience under his belt.
Yeah.
Fox will be healthy. We're looking at a possible dynasty ending tomorrow night and another one beginning. I mean, there's a lot of subplots in this series here, man. I mean, think about it.
Is it even a dynasty? They've only won one title.
Well, I've noticed, remember, this is the era is if you do something one time, we started talking about you being the top 10 greatest.
Oh, that's right.
So two championships in a row. And the reason I would say we started talking dynasty, because the Golden State went back-to-back.
I can't even remember offhand.
Oh, you don't remember back-to-back? You don't remember offhand because they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't.
Who was the last team to win back-to-back? Lakers?
Yeah.
Okay, with the Kobe, who's won?
Yeah, because I was thinking Bulls. But
okay,
yeah,
other than those 3 championships, 2001, 2002, 3, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
This would back to back would have put them in the talk of being a dynasty, and it still will if they can win tomorrow and then go in and defeat New York. So all is not lost for OKC, but yeah, we two back to back would put them in the at least in the dynasty talk.
For me, dynasty is like multiple titles over multiple years. Now, it doesn't have to be back-to-backs. It doesn't have to be three-peats, nothing like that. But, I mean, it's not – you win a title, great. You win a title again, great.
Have you heard people say that the Spurs had a dynasty?
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that say it wasn't a dynasty because they never won back-to-back. I heard many, many people say because they couldn't do it back-to-back. They win in 99. They don't win again till 2003. They don't win again till 2005.
We're talking about the same Spurs who dominated the NBA during the Tim Duncan era. Never lost more than what? X number of games. They won 50.
They won at least 50 every year. But remember, some people also say it was Kobe or Shaq's era.
I don't buy that.
They won 3 in a row.
They did.
The one thing that they do have over the Spurs is they won 3 straight.
Yeah.
No team has done that since who? The Bulls and the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
So on that, I mean, we're talking like that.
I don't know, man. I mean, the Spurs.
Let's do this.
They had a dynasty.
Let's do this. The Spurs can put an end to this conversation tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Come out and smack OKC around a little bit. And I got to be honest because I don't like to be biased, but I do. Keaton Wallace, I told you we were talking.
Yeah.
And Keaton, of course, he's going to cheer for his brother, OKC, K-Son. Keaton said OKC in 6. And so when he wrote that, I didn't reply. I replied to all his other posts, his text, but I didn't reply to that one, OKC in 6. No. So I'm hoping that I can reply tomorrow.
OKC at home?
Right after that game, if Spurs come through, what do you think I'm gonna be doing immediately after, within 1 minute of that game?
Oh man.
Hey man, better luck next year. I love you. Your brother had a great year. He won he's a steals title. He won the steals title, K-Son, and he won the deflections title. He had the most deflections, if you call that a title, but still. So we can go ahead and silence all this tomorrow, all this dynasty talk, and then we can start talking about if the Spurs agree to start heading towards a dynasty.
You know, it'd be crazy if San Antonio ended up winning Game 7 and facing the Knicks in the NBA Finals. You know, almost a pretty much even country when it comes to who's everybody rooting for. Because everybody, if the OKC plays the Knicks, you've got 49 states on the New York side. And then you've got one state, Oklahoma, rooting for the Thunder. But if it's a Spurs-Knicks finals, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that would probably be one of the most watched finals we've seen in a long time.
I would be excited because the Knicks fans travel, and I like that. You see what happened in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia people couldn't even hardly get seats. So that wouldn't happen here. But I want to see it. No, it couldn't happen here. You know why it couldn't? For one, you got to have your yellow shirts over there. You got to have your fuchsia shirts over there. You got what do we do here? We got the Fiesta colors, man. So they're gonna make sure you're not gonna overload this place with New York Knicks fans down here.
You can't get tickets anyway.
Yeah,
because Ticketmaster you have to be within 150 miles of, the San Antonio in order to buy tickets. So not saying they can't get in. I mean, I'm sure
They'll get in. They'll get some, but it won't be anywhere close to Philadelphia. Spurs,
God.
we great. Spurs are ready, man. The fans are ready as well.
You know what we're ready for? We're ready for the last segment here. It's the Spurs Cheeseman. We got a lot of Cheeseman because a lot of comments are coming in as well, Derek. Let's get into the Spurs Cheeseman.
So, like, I hear about the Spurs this y Spurs that, y como que esto y esta, pero I never hear about the real Spurs Cheeseman. Nine, por favor.
All right, as you can see, we're starting the Cheeseman off tonight, and there's a lot more other Cheeseman. Jeff brought up a good question that you and I talked about before we even started tonight's show. First one is Sean Sweeney. He's accepted the head coaching position over for the Orlando Magic. Now, came out obviously today. They've got Game 7 tomorrow. You got fans completely upset. Why would you announce this now? We have a big game tomorrow. That's kind of the way the NBA runs. I mean, they hire a coach. They've got to make the announcement. They want to make the announcement. Sean understands, hey, I've got business to do with San Antonio. He's going to be on the bench as long as the Spurs are still playing. He's going to be on the sidelines with Mitch Johnson. But news coming out, I want a player's perspective on this. Does it make or break a locker room when a coach leaves, especially a coach who had the same impact as a Chip England for San Antonio?
Just to get there. Okay.
I mean, this is the sign of the type of guy that he is. He makes that much of an impact for San Antonio player-wise. Is it make or break for them going into Game 7? Is it on their mind, or is it let's win one for Sean?
That's a hard question to answer because it depends on the players, the relationship that they have with the coach. He's done some really good things. Even led us, we're in the top 5 defensively.
Absolutely.
After being in the top 20, bottom 20 something last year. So he's earned his job, first of all. So I want to give him a shout out. Coach Sweeney, a job well done. You earned your trip to Orlando. But for some players, it could affect you for a period of time, right? And because you have a relationship with him. And this is the guy that you've gone through when you've gone through hardships as a young guy coming into the league. Say someone say like a Carter Bryant.
Absolutely.
Or like a situation the other day, what happened with Carter and Mitch Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
In situations like that, Sweeney might be the guy that Carter reaches out to. And so for guys like that, you will miss them.
Yeah.
But like you said, it can also be used as a motivational tool. We want to go out, and this gentleman is we want to see him get to the finish line. And we're proud of all the things he's done. I mean, he's been the associate head coach. He's had a big job. It's been him and Mitch basically. And then there's the other guys, the Corliss Williamsons and Mr. A-Leaf over there, Rashard. You already know. So, but that guy's going to be missed. But yeah, it's difficult for some of the players because you develop relationships, and this league is about relationships just as much as it's about basketball.
Yeah,
so there's 2 ways. Some guys it will motivate, some guys will be sad for a few days, but then they'll get over it. And then you remember that this is just a business. Once you do that, it makes the situation a lot easier for all the players.
I got 2 coaching questions that I want to get to, and one of them we need to put on our NFL coaching hats right now because we saw with the Detroit Lions, they lost their top coordinators. We saw the year that they had. I'm sorry, Shamai, you can definitely put the bow and arrow away. I don't mean to bring that up, but then you go into this year, Clint Kubiak. Staple in Seattle, getting them the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl there. He's gone. The impact those guys had in the football world. Do we potentially see San Antonio have that impact next year where they're not a top 5 defensive team?
The reason I'm going to say no is because why are we mainly a top 5 team this year defensively?
Well, you got to
who's the catalyst? Okay, you heard J-Dub, Jalen Williams talk about it a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
When they were asking why the Spurs were beating them. Well, they got this 7'5" guy. So as long as you have him, you can recover from any situation, man. I mean, if they lost Mitch Johnson, they can recover because you still have a building block. You have Wemby.
Yeah.
And then you just put the pieces around him. And when you got guys that you know going to be here, Carter Bryant's going to be here, right? At least the next few years.
Oh, yeah.
Castle's going to be here the next few years. So no matter who they bring in to replace Coach Sweeney, they're going to be fine. This is a little different than the Lions. The Lions didn't have a behemoth by the name of Victor Wembanyama. So when you got him, that's a heck of a building block, no matter who the coaches are.
Why is Orlando always trying to, vulture our players and coaches now? I mean, you got Tim Duncan back in the day. I'm hoping the owner told Sean something and he gets there, is like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do that. And Sean's like, hey guys, I'm back in San Antonio. That probably won't happen. But congratulations, Coach Sean Sweeney. Biggest question I have for him going to Orlando is, what do you do about Paolo? You got to figure something about Paolo. I mean, do you keep Paolo in Orlando? As of today, I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the kid's name that they basically are going to release him. Jonathan Isaac's going to be released. So the biggest question with Sweeney is Paolo Banchero. I think you work with Franz Wagner, but you have to move on. I think from Paolo, you have to move on from Suggs as well.
Wait, now I'm trying to understand because people have been kind of hard on how you say his name?
Paolo. We can say Banchero.
Yeah, Banchero. People have been hard on him. He's been there. He's played most of the games. Wagner's the one that's been in and out of the lineup.
But you got to move on from one.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying the only thing that I will see that will keep Wagner in Orlando is the popularity. Of course, his brother's there.
Yeah.
But it looked like to me you would have to move on from one of those two guys. I couldn't certainly say it would be Paolo. But that's something that they're definitely going to have to consider.
Right.
Here's the thing. Is he a franchise player?
No. I don't have to think about that, no.
That's a hard one for me because is he much worse on the lower tier than Anthony Edwards? Honestly.
He's lower than Edwards, but not by much.
Not by much at all.
No.
So that's something that they're going to have to think about because you also have to see when you think about it with him and Wagner, if Wagner's healthy. Do you want to break that up yet? Because in the East right now, who would be the best duos? It would be healthy Tatum and Brown, right?
Yeah, easily healthy.
Wouldn't Banchero and Wagner be in there when you're talking about healthy? I would have them over Harden and Mitchell.
There's no doubt on that. They're better than Harden and Mitchell. They're better than, Detroit has Cade, and that's Duren. They're better than that.
So you got the two. So they're in the top 2 or 3 duels in the Eastern Conference. So is it time to break? Now, here go the thing. The reason I say that. You just get a new coach. We know Mr. Mosley, Jamal Mosley went to New Orleans.
Yeah, I did.
Do you bring it? What if the new coach wanted to give it a look and see what those two guys look like together, being healthy?
Or what if a certain superstar, which there are a couple of superstars out there that are going to be moved, is knocking on the door? Giannis.
I hear he doesn't want to go to Orlando, but you hear a lot of stuff.
But a John Morant?
I thought that's another story because you said superstars.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't consider Ja a superstar.
A fan-made superstar in John Morant.
What does he do? How does he move the needle in Orlando?
He doesn't, but again,
you get rid of a big to bring in a guard that you don't even know how they're going to behave over the course of a year.
There's a lot. There's even talk of Anthony Davis
to Orlando.
Not to Orlando, but wanting out of Washington. So, Zion Williamson's another one. You've had other guys that are being talked about that make buku dollars. You're about ready to pay Wagner and Banchero. If you have an opportunity to get Giannis and you've got to move on from Banchero, are we thinking about it? Probably not. You're like, yeah.
I'm not thinking about it. I'm doing it. Are you sure?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's the thing is, I'm not saying that he's got to get rid of Banchero. I just feel like the biggest question that Sean has is, can I make it work or do I need to move one of them? They've got more questions in Orlando because I had them as one of the better teams in the East beginning of the year, and they just kind of faltered this year. You've got Desmond Bain. You can work with Bain. You can work with Banchero. You can work with Wagner. But you're going to have to move one of those guys if you want to get better. I think right now Orlando is just here. It's just mediocre. It's like the Spurs back in the day. You're going to be good, but you're never going to get past that first round. You're going to get past the first round, but you're never going to get past the second round. You're going to be good enough to be not bad.
Mired in mediocrity.
Yeah, I mean, you're bad enough to be good. Put it that way. You're never going to get higher than that. So he's got to make that tough decision, and I think that's where it's got to be. It's got to be one of those guys.
And Suggs, yeah, because you can get Suggs.
Yeah, Suggs.
Suggs to me, honestly, has been a disappointment for me.
Yes,
because I expected big things from him coming out of college. I was a big fan.
Yeah,
and I was like, Mark Few, bring all these guys, and I expected a lot better than I've gotten. I thought he would be a much better player than Cole Anthony.
Yeah.
He really didn't give them any much more than Cole Anthony gave them. And for me, that's a surprise. He's up and down, and I expected him to honestly be a guy that might win even a all-star game. That's what I expected him coming out of into the league. I saw a miniature Jalen Brandon Roy, I thought.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge disappointment for me.
We could do an entire show on this, because if you look at Duke Blue Devils, hate saying that word, and then if you look at Gonzaga Bulldogs, they produce a lot of great players until they get to the 3-letter word, the NBA. Then it's kind of like, weren't you that good in college? Adam Morrison,
Drew Timmy, Corey,
Adam Morrison.
Yeah.
Now, Chet Holmgren, okay, I'll give you that, but even Chet's not superstar major level. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, even with Duke Blue Devils, you talk about the greats.
So are you trying to say that out of all college history,
don't draft from there?
You compare? Are you putting
there.
Gonzaga in the same place you're putting the Indiana Hoosiers?
I mean, Indiana at least produced Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, but we know they didn't have a history as well. Bobby Knight, they didn't have a history of producing a lot of great pros. Those two teams would come to mind for me first.
I remember reading a magazine, and I already knew about this kid. I was in high school, but I remember reading about Damon Bailey, the next guy that was supposed to be the next Hoosier in the NBA and doing all this stuff. And it was actually a Sports Illustrated, and I'm like, okay, whatever happened to Damon Bailey? Eric Gordon? I mean, Eric Gordon was all over Indiana. The Eric deflated out of that tire very, very fast when he got to the league. But
Damon Bailey, is a legend. No, he's Fort Wayne legend, Indiana legend, Bloomington, but they love him in Fort Wayne. And then shout out to his barbecue spot.
He's got a barbecue spot. We need to go to the barbecue
Damon, spot. I played with Damon Bailey. That's another story. We'll have to get into that another day.
Don't get me wrong. The kid was great. I love watching basketball. I love watching him play, but to me, it's like I said with Duke. Let's take Duke.
Adam Morrison for the expectations. Yes,
I mean Adam Morrison with second pick in the draft. I mean, but look at the Duke Blue Devils. I mean, Grant Hill would have been probably one of the greatest had not for injuries. But then you've got probably the greatest college basketball player, or one of them, in Christian Laettner. Didn't do anything in the league. You've had Bobby Hurley, came into the league, had a car accident, but still wasn't great. You've had Zion Williamson. I mean, you've had so many guys. Even Jason Tatum, you can definitely say has been a success. Elton Brand was successful, but not up to, legendary par.
20 and 10 guy, but not a superstar.
Exactly.
Very good player. Yes.
So that's why and I bring this up because, I think we overhype a lot of the draft picks is what it is. They've got to be a right fit on the right team, but with Sean Sweeney going to, Orlando, you mentioned Suggs, and it's like Suggs was that guy. He could produce, but I saw it more in college than I do in the NBA. So that's the reason why I brought that up here. But the other part of the coaching question before we go to the next part of the last part of the segment is, you saw Mitch Johnson, you saw Carter Bryant, you saw the intensity, you saw the fire, and we're not gonna say it didn't happen. Carter was pretty much in tears. I mean, you could say he was affected by it. I mentioned to Jeff and Spurs in Focus, I said, have you ever seen Pop do that, what he did? He says, oh, yeah, plenty of times. I said, no, You have never seen Pop grab a player by the jersey and bring him closer. Pop was fire. He was in your face. He would put you in the doghouse. He would tear Danny Green's butt off every single opportunity he got. But when Mitch grabbed the jersey and brought Carter Bryant a little bit closer to him and got into him and yelled at him, to me, that shows that Carter Bryant belongs in this league because he took it for what it's worth, even though it affected him. He stayed on the court. He did what he could. But that shows a perfect relationship between a player and coach that I really love to see. I used to see that back in the day when we were playing. And that's like, I loved it. I loved it.
The yelling part, I didn't have any issue with. The grabbing, I'm not a proponent of that. I don't like the grabbing at all. I believe you keep your hands to yourself.
I can understand that part.
Professional, all the Bobby Knight stuff has gone out the window. You know, we've dealt with the Woody Hayes. This is for the older people. We've dealt with all of that. Yeah. The intimidation tactics.
Bear Bryant.
I didn't mind the aggression at all. I didn't like the putting hands on the young guy, but I thought Carter handled it well. I know he looked like he's going to tear up.
I want to say he did.
Yeah,
I mean, he did.
That's okay. This is a lot of pressure, man. You got millions and millions of eyes on you, and this is something that's new for him, right?
Yeah.
But it showed me a lot. Victor, once again, being that Tim Duncan guy, man, you know, he's a little more outgoing than Tim.
Yeah.
But a lot of their things that they do are similar. You know, the waiting after the game now, he's got that from Tim where you wait for your team, you know, through good or bad.
Yeah.
But he came to Carter's aid. And it did show a lot of respect how much Ms. Johnson really has for him. Because when the coach talks to you as a 19, 20-year-old in the heat of battle, and then he pats you on the behind and sends you back out there after chewing you out, even if he took you out the next play, he didn't take him out that play.
Yeah.
So he kept him in the game. So that showed me that he has a lot of faith in Carter. And I think that Carter, he knows that Carter's going to be one of these guys that are going to be here for quite a while. And just keep your hands from this point on, keep your hands to yourself, Mitch. The overall message was good, but you don't want to get into the situation where you're getting questioned about grabbing players because, you know, some of these players, you know, these guys get paid a lot of money, and a lot of them make a lot more money than Mitch Johnson.
Oh, God,
and you don't want to set that kind of precedent where you're getting into it, where you're getting physical with players.
Yeah, I mean, these guys make more money than Mitch just by their endorsement deals majority of the time. So I did say, you know, I did like it. I did say I liked it because of the fire, the intensity, the in the moment type of thing. To me, it shows that, yeah, you can keep your hands off players, but it shows that there's no player bigger than the game. I don't care if you're here. I don't care if you're here. Kids in AAU, kids in high school, take it as criticism. It's good, constructive criticism. If your coach is in your face yelling at you, you don't need the eye roll. You don't need mommy and daddy to come down from the stands and say, don't you yell at my son. This is the old school basketball, the way you were brought up, the way I was brought up. I remember getting, you know, massive amount of yellings and, you know, coaches just berating me. But at the end of the day, they had every right to berate me. I did something wrong. If I'm not going to be corrected, I'm going to be making the same mistake over and over again. It's how he delivered it. He delivered it. And I'm just saying that to me, that was a moment that you could look back as a turning point in Carter Bryant's career. And it could even be for this game tomorrow. Yeah. You saw the way he played this last game. I mean, yeah, sure. He didn't push Gilchrist Alexander down. He didn't push him. It
looked like when he dunked that ball, he was like, this, Mitch, oh boy, he saw Mitch's face on that rim.
Exactly.
So it was something good came out of it.
Something did. Before we go to that last part of it, Derek, Jeff had a question. It says, you saw Duncan almost leave San Antonio and was practically with the Magic. We did mention that. Do you see the same situation with Victor? Is there ever an opportunity you think Victor leaves San Antonio for bigger pastures? And
wow,
for me, I don't think so, but I don't know the mindset of today's.
Well, that's the key for me, Jeff. I don't know really the mindset of Victor yet. And then, you know, that's a big projection because we're talking about something that's maybe, you know, 3, 4, 5 years down the line. I don't know. Looking at him right now, I look at the relationship that he has. Like it seems like with Harper and Carter Bryant and those guys.
You don't want to leave.
I think Victor seems to be, when you come to San Antonio, I look at it, this is a city that you come to retire in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you come here, because you already know the history with Pop, George, even back to my brother who's still here all these years later. You look at David Robinson. I'll even go George Hill. Would have bought him a big old, got several acres out here, right?
Yeah.
Tony Parker's still here. I drive by his house every time I go to my nephew's. I have to pass Tony's house. They stay 5 minutes apart.
Yeah.
So this is just a city that seems to grow on players, and they treat you. Where will Victor get treated better than? Where it would be genuine that he would get treated better than he would get here? Would he get the same love in L.A.?
No.
There they up and down, right? New York Knicks. You have a great game, then you have a bad game. They ready to send you out to pasture. Here in San Antonio, it's not the same. It seems to me like once you're a Spur for life. And I'm talking about those stars. I would never want to leave here. You see, my brothers never left. I think Victor seems to be a mature young man.
Yeah.
I think San Antonio is growing on him. And Viva San Antonio.
I think the biggest question and the reason why he asked is because Tim Duncan was happy here that we thought, and he was gone. He was just as good as gone. So I get the concern. Go back to Robinson. There wasn't even a point where we thought David. We didn't even think David would come because of his 2-year commitment. I mean, he could have potentially re-entered the draft and got drafted by another team. So there is a lot of things going through people's mind. We didn't know if David was going to stay his entire career. He did. He even made it a point that he would only play for San Antonio.
I have to tell you, I thought he was coming because of this guy by the name of BB, that George and I call him BB, Bob Bass.
Bob Bass.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was not a Bob Bass fan.
I am. I have.
Well, I'll tell you what, my dad didn't like Bob Bass because he always said he'll trade everybody. He don't care. We can never have a good team because he'll trade everybody.
That's the business, right? You always talk about putting on your GM hat.
That's my dad, though. He's a fan. He's in GM a whole lot like me. But then you have Tim. Tim won a title, and yet he was just as good as gone. So Wemby wins a title. He plays out his contracts years here. Say he's got 3 titles under his belt. Is it a guarantee that he stays?
Well, it depends on what kind of legacy he wants. If you could always be talked about in the same breath as David Robinson and Tim Duncan, I don't think that's a bad air, is it?
No.
So we don't know. It's a lot's going to. First of all, you got to look at with the money that's going on. You know, everything continues to change, right?
Yeah.
So a lot can happen in the next 3 or 4 years. So we don't know. A lot of people never thought Luka would be leaving Dallas.
Yeah.
It wasn't hit by his doing, but still. Right now I would say I think Victor loves it here, man. And at that age, 22, he doesn't even know what he wants to do with his future. So that's something we'd have to look back on in the next few years. It would be hard for me to make a judgment on that right now because he doesn't even know. He's a kid still.
When you talk to Adam Silver next time, let him know, do not put a franchise in France, please, because then it's pretty much as good as gone. If they decide to put one overseas in France, there's no
I think I hurt Adam's feelings because I'm not all, you know.
He left you on red, Derek.
I'm kind of a to the point guy, friends or not. Kind of like, you know, Kendrick Perkins tells it how he feels. Barkley tells it how he feels. I'm the same. I won't say it disrespectfully, but I've disagreed with Adam before.
Oh man, well at least you got left on red. If I was to have ever message Adam Silver, he would never even open it. So that is not an issue right there with you. But the last part of the cheeseman here, kind of what Jeff asked earlier. This is the thing. The NBA's next great duo. We've talked about Dylan. We've talked about Wembanyama. A lot of people pointed at Steph Castle and Wembanyama as the next duo. I actually would put Harper and Victor as that next greatest duo. Can they get as high as Kareem and Magic? Can they be, you know, as dominant for a while there as Penny and Shaq were? Or can they be just trucking along, like I mentioned, Mark Price or Brad Doherty. You've had a lot of good point guard center combinations in the NBA. If they stick together for a very long time, and that's part of what Jeff's question is, where does where does San Antonio Spurs rank among best San Antonio teams in history? We'll get that answer in a little bit. But this duo, where can you potentially see this duo? Because what I love about Harper, Derek, he's not your today point guard. He doesn't shoot the three ball. He doesn't live with a three ball.
Old school.
He gets to the basket. He makes sure he draws that contact. He can take contact. He plays the mid range. He can make passes. He's a smart basketball guy. Where do these guys rank overall, you think, when their career is said and done?
On the trajectory that they're at right now.
Give me the trajectory.
Oh, come on. The trajectory they're on right now is nothing but elite.
Yeah.
Because Dylan Harper is only going to get better. We haven't even seen Dylan Harper at his best. He's still coming off the bench, and he's not even playing 30 minutes. So he's basically a guy that comes in, 24 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Provides that spark off the bench, him with Keldon Johnson. But if you're looking at him the way I see him and Victor, we're talking healthy, and they continue to progress together. We're talking top of the line, because I think Dylan Harper's has potential to be a flat-out superstar. Victor's already a superstar, and they seem to play well together. And they're only going to get better because Harper actually is not a bad shooter. He's continuing to work on his shot. We already saw Keldon Johnson improve his shot a couple years ago, start shooting a high arcer.
Yeah.
Castle's shot is getting better. But you just go off projections. Yeah, it will be scary. We talking Kobe, Shaq, Kareem, Magic, Duncan Manu or Duncan Parker.
Stockton Malone.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, and I'll even put them above Stockton Malone, who I love. I'm not a big Carl fan off the floor.
Nobody is off the
but
floor.
They have the potential to be one of the best duels that's ever laced them up. We talking Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain. That's that. I mean, you got Havlicek, Bill Russell. There's not a whole lot of them. And these two guys have the potential to get there if they stay healthy. So I like where we're headed.
It's going to be great. I mean, I'm excited to see Dylan Harper, who, again, I had as a superstar before even being drafted. So this kid's going to continue to get good. Where does the Spurs team rank among all Spurs teams in history? That was a question that he brought up to me.
Yet to be determined, though.
It is yet to be determined, but
talent-wise, it's been determined.
I agree with that, but I even threw it a step further to you before we started. I said, have you ever seen a team this good and this rostered in NBA history? I'd love for the former NBA guys to jump in and try to figure this out, because I mean, I mentioned that 76ers team. That was one of the best of all times, with Bobby Jones, Julius Erving, Moses Malone. I mean, the names went on there, but I mean, there's really even the 63, the Bulls. I mean, yeah, you had Harper, Rodman, Pippen, Jordan, but even that team would struggle against this Spurs roster.
I thought OKC had a lot of depth. I still think they do, but the Spurs have more depth than they do.
Yeah.
And it's scary. And the reason I say I would pick the Spurs over any team all time, and I'm going to tell you why quickly. When you have three of your guys that's just sitting over there just melting away on the bench by the name of Kelly Olynyk, Bismack Biyombo, and Mason Plumlee.
Yeah.
When those are three of your guys that's near the bottom of your totem pole, you got a pretty good totem pole.
Those guys can come off the bench.
They're all proven veterans.
Yeah.
None of them have played, but if you have to play them, spot duty, you can play them, right?
You know what you're going to get.
So you can go 12 deep, really, with the Spurs, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of too many teams where you can honestly go 12 deep. There are some you can go 9, 10 deep, but I haven't seen the teams. I even say OKC, you can go 9 or 10 deep, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing right now guys like Wiggins and Isaiah Joe aren't helping to get them over the hump. So if I were to factor in those two guys, then I will put them right there with the Spurs. But I haven't seen that. So what I have to go by right now, I would say the Spurs have the deepest team that I can think of. But certainly. And I go way back.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to figure that out. I'm not gonna stay up till 3 a.m. trying to figure this out anymore because I don't think there really is a team. I mean, it's a good debate to have. If you're talking about 1 through 12, it's a really good debate. There are great teams out there, but man, it's so hard to figure them out.
Other than Victor, you could start other guys in those other 4 spots. You hear me?
Yeah.
And still survive, and then find a way to try to win at the end. You could switch up all 4 of those guys and go with a different lineup. You could go with Carter Bryant if you want to go with Dylan Harper. You can go with Keldon Johnson.
Harrison
You
Barnes.
can or Luke Cornett. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You could go with that lineup and still feel that you're going to be okay, right?
Yeah.
That's a deep team.
There you go, Jeff. This is definitely one of the deepest teams that we've ever seen all time wise. Yeah, they're getting close to being all-time Spurs. Got to win titles, though. There's got to be a title in there somewhere. Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. Again, the Friday Drive brought to you by Salem Surround. Before we go, just a quick mention here. We've got a former player, friend of yours, Ricky Pierce, 2-time NBA six-man, Milwaukee Buck, Seattle Supersonic, Spurs fans back in the day. I'm sure you remember him. He used to kill the Spurs. Everybody killed the Spurs back in the day. But 2-time six-man of the year. It's got a product out called AccuShot 22, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to Ricky here pretty soon. We did say we're going to start bringing in some NBA players, whether it be via StreamYard or whether even in studio. But that's one guy that's going to be hopefully coming up here. Ricky Pierce, man, you have a story behind Ricky, don't you? I hate bringing it up.
Well, we talk about relationships. Ricky and I, he was playing at the Indiana Pacers, and I was playing with the Nets at the time. So he took a jump shot, and me being a guy that's still trying to earn my stripes, basically, I pop him upside the top of his head.
Oh, no.
And I hit him pretty hard. And so he didn't make the basket. So he asked me, and he used some profanity. He basically asked me, Derek, what are you doing? Why do you do that? And I've used some little profanity back. I feel bad today.
Okay.
And I said, look here, man, I'm not trying to let you score a point, score and get an and one. So after we had our little conversation, we were going to meet up out by the buses. And I end up being out there by the bus. Ricky came out a little later with his fur coat on, him and his wife or girlfriend. And I told him, you don't look like you ready to, you don't look like you ready to go, to throw any blows. And Sam Bowie played the mediator. He was the friend on both sides.
Yeah.
And so Ricky and I end up becoming friends after that. It took a while. I end up somehow we got in contact with each other. I apologized to him for what I did to him 30-some years ago, and we become friends now. And it was good getting a call from him this morning. And yeah, he wants to come on the show, so we'll find out how we can make that happen.
You see, I need you to tell Ricky when next time you talk to him that your little buddy, the water boy over here, Rudy Campos, did a perfect marketing job for him on his AccuShot because why? I know the story. You fouled him on a jump shot. Had he been using AccuShot 22, he might have made that jump shot, even getting fouled upside the head. So be sure to tell Ricky that. Yeah, but we're trying to get Ricky Pearson here. We've also got some other NBA guys, former athletes, maybe even current athletes as well, that are going to be a part of the show. So we wanted to make that announcement. But again, Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr., this is the Friday Drive here on the Sports Answer. Answer Now TV. Hit that subscribe button. That way you're never left out when we get players in here. We talk to Derek and I as well. Spurs in focus. We've been going post-game. We're going to do post-game tomorrow after Game 7. Win or lose, doesn't matter. We'll be post-game. Also, we're going to be doing, I believe, a live show, preview show for Game 7. So, again, Spurs Focus is a part of the Answer Now TV family here. Be sure to Answer Now TV on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Salem Surround 210-526-3635. Everybody enjoy Game 7. Derek, I know you will be enjoying Game 7. Go Spurs, go. Any last words on Spurs, fans, everything?
Well, one day we're going to be interviewing Keaton Wallace.
Yeah.
So I want the Spurs to take it home because I don't want Keaton to come in here and be bragging about his OKC Thunder and his little brother. I want to kind of keep him humble. And so, yeah, let's go Spurs. Let's go ahead. But on the serious side, everybody be safe. Win or lose, please celebrate in a mild, responsible manner. And let's go out and support the team tomorrow. And let's go Spurs. And if we lose, give credit to the OKC Thunder. It's not the end of the world. We just go back to the drawing board. But right now, let's come out tomorrow and let's support the team and let's go San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, easily what Derek said, win or lose. At the end of the day, it's just a game. It's just a game. I understand losing hurts. It sucks, but it's just a game. There's always next year. This team's going to go beyond, winning just one title. They're set up to win multiple NBA titles. So enjoy Game 7. We will see you guys next Friday. And again, when you have those sports answers, we have the sports questions for you. This is Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. for the Friday Drive. We'll see you guys next week.